Hey guys, welcome back to Vlogmas and welcome to my channel. My name is Jen. I'm an esthetician and I also own a skincare company called Bauer Beauty. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about tolerance. How do you know your own skin tolerance? A lot of questions I get have to do with, can I use this with this? How many days a week can I use this? How to use this? When can I use acids? When can I use retinols? When can I mix them? How can I use vitamin C if I'm using retinol? I'm going to empower you with the ability to know your own skin and to understand your own skin's tolerance for different ingredients, because there's really no like hard and fast rules for the most part when it comes to using skincare. You just have to know what your personal skin's tolerance, like what it can tolerate, because at the end of the day, the main thing you want to avoid is over irritating the skin. This disrupts the skin barrier and this will cause aging and acne. Before we hop into it, make sure you're subscribed here to my channel, of course. Also make sure you're following me on TikTok, if you have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. So let's just hop into it. Okay, so let's start with, what does a normal, healthy, functioning skin barrier and complexion look like? You really will have no sensation at all. It feels like it's producing enough oil, it has enough water, it doesn't feel dry, it doesn't look dry, it doesn't look too crepey, it doesn't look flaky, it doesn't look red. It looks pretty normal, it looks pretty balanced. If you use a product on it, it doesn't react in terms of like, you don't get a rash, you don't get irritation unless it's an irritating product. You don't get a rash, you don't get irritation, you don't get like a hive, you don't get a breakout, nothing like that. It's not, like I said, it's not flaking, it's not like, it doesn't look or feel any type of way. It's just a very neutral, balanced, healthy feeling complexion. Anything outside of the scope of that is slightly sensitized. Your skin will communicate to you what your tolerance level is. You just have to kind of talk to it intuitively, understand, what is it saying? What is it trying to tell me right now? Does it need more? Does it need less? Does it need moisture? Does it need oil? Does it need, you know, anything, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, whatever it is. Does it need acid? Does it need this? You have to start looking at your skin as like, it can't just be a one-size-fits-all type of thing all the time. Getting a good idea of what neutral is for you, is going to help you gauge what your skin can tolerate based on how it reacts when you use certain products. You need to start with a neutral palette. Let's say that you're super irritated. Stop using all your products besides cleansing and moisturizing and SPF for a week or two until your skin feels neutral. That neutral feeling that I'm talking about. Not red, not dry, not flaky, not irritated, not sensitive to the touch. You can't feel it. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel raw. It feels moisturized. It feels healthy. It feels clean. It feels bouncy. The more you don't touch it, the healthier it is, because that's true. Same thing goes with your hair. The more you don't touch your hair, there's a balance. Of course, you have to wash your hair. But washing your hair every day actually will damage it. Same thing with your skin. Washing your skin, overwashing your skin will damage it. If the body heals itself, the body has an equilibrium. There's a very fine line between what you need to do to keep your skin clean and what you're doing that's damaging your skin. There's a peak, you know? So you gotta stay right on this seesaw of like being healthy. But in general, the less you do to it, the better. So when I'm going to get a chemical peel, which I am next week getting an enzyme peel, now for the next week, I won't touch my skin with retinoid, with acid, with nothing. In order for it to be as strong as possible, for it to be able to bounce back up to normal without having like a lot of irritation. If your skin is compromised or damaged or irritated and you try to do something aggressive to a skin barrier that's weak, your skin is going to react negatively. But if you try to do an aggressive procedure to a skin barrier that's strong, your skin will react the way it's supposed to react. You have to really get familiar with that feeling of your skin being healthy. The way you determine tolerance is you get familiar with the absolute zero, neutral, like I said, and then as you try products, notice what your skin does. Look at your skin in the morning. What does your skin look like the next morning? What does it look like immediately after you put it on? What does it feel like the next day? Does it feel like you could tolerate putting it on again, or does it feel like a little bit sensitized? Like it's slightly sensitized, as in you can actually feel it. It's a little bit dry, it's like a little bit tight, it's like a teensy bit red, or a little bit more sensitive today. When you cleansed, you could feel a little bit of tingling, whatever. That would mean that your skin is slightly sensitized. Even if it feels that way, you may be able to use the product again. It's like, at what point is your threshold? So let's say you're slightly sensitized, slightly tight, slightly dry, slightly flaky, blah, 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 blah. I prefer to be conservative. If I was flaky or dry, I might skip a night that night. But let's say that you wake up, you use a retinoid or a glycolic acid, you wake up the next day, everything's fine, use it again. Check your skin the next day. How is it? Is it sensitive? Is it red? Is it irritated? Is it blotchy? Blah, blah, blah. No, then use it again. Third day in a row. Oh, okay, I see. My skin's like a little bit tighter, a little bit more red. I noticed when I put my moisturizer on today, it was tingling a little bit. I noticed when I went to cleanse my skin in the shower, it felt like a little bit tight, or I noticed some irritation, like starting to break out here or something. That now you know your tolerance level. You did 3 days in a row and you need to back off now. These are ingredients that are actually changing the structure of your skin. Chemical peels, lactic acid, glycolic acid, beta hydroxy acid, anything like this actually works in your skin like a construction worker. It's literally going in there and chopping things up, moving things around, scooping things out, you know, and on a cellular level, versus a moisturizer, peptides, hyaluronic acid just basically goes in there and absorbs, versus going in there and doing some construction on the infrastructure there. So you have to really pay attention, because your skin will tell you what your tolerance level is, but that's a way to determine it. Determine what neutral is. Figure out what your neutral is, and then see how your body communicates sensitivity towards you. My skin gets red, irritated, it tingles a little bit if I put moisturizer on or SPF on. Like, it'll be flaky. I'll see my skin, like, you know, my makeup won't go on well because there'll be a little bit of flakiness, redness, dryness, inflamedness. If my skin barrier isn't strong enough when I go in to get a facial or something, I'll notice atopic dermatitis will happen right here, which is like a bunch of teeny tiny little bumps and redness and just dryness and irritation. Like, that's extreme. A more extreme example of, you know, a skin barrier that's damaged, but the skin barrier repairs itself pretty easily. So all you have to do is back off of all your products. So if you want to start from neutral, like I said, if you're not already neutral, you want to start from neutral, make sure you cut down your products and get your skin to a point where it feels neutral. You have to get that feeling of neutral. My skin feels neutral, healthy, not dry, not irritated, not red, nothing like that. It feels neutral. And now I'm going to start and I'm going to pay attention. Okay, I used lactic acid tonight. How did my skin get really red? Did it like react? Is it like, you know, really sensitive? Did it tingle a lot? Maybe the next day, if your skin really tingled a lot from that lactic acid, you want to skip the next day. You know, it's always a balance of like pushing the barrier and letting the barrier push back. Okay, so that's it. Leave any questions below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.